Embrace it, Adam. Just embrace it.
Embrace the lights.
All right.
Oh, you can use a cup. Yeah.
All right. Well, so today in practice, it was good for our guys. For the guys that played in the game, they're a little sore right now. So we went with the shells today, which is shells and shorts, so a little lighter in that regards. But we're able to stay aggressive with the guys that didn't play with their reps as far as going full speed and fast and that sort of thing. So this is one of those weeks right now where you're always doing a little bit of a juggling act with with the two teams. You start getting into Buffalo, and then obviously this is a time where most teams usually start prepping for week one, which we did today as well with some of our guys. So it's never really that fun because you're juggling two teams, but at the same time, when you have good coaches and good players that understand that, it makes it a lot easier.
Matt, what all was Roquan able to do today?
So he pretty much the same type of deal. Nothing too major one way or the other. It was the same thing. We'll keep continuing to monitor it, and if we feel like he's in a spot where we think it makes more sense to go in there and get him some reps to get in there and play, then we'll do that. But that'll be a day-to-day type thing. I would love to get him out there. I just don't know, if that's where we're going to be.
Does it seem to be trending that way?
I think so, yeah. My gut tells me that it's starting to get better, more so than going the other way for sure.
With Aaron Lynch?
Yeah, he's in the same type of deal. Again, if you ask me which way the direction's going, and it goes back to the last couple of weeks now. We've been a little more cautious with those guys, and now you start getting to that point where you start getting ready to get to the regular season, and you want to make sure that you're cautious, but yet you push them enough too to where they understand that if they can be ready and it's smart, then they'll be ready.
An update on Shaheen?
No update with him. We're still kind of he's in the same spot as what he was several days ago, but we should have an update here in a few days. He's going through some different opinions right now.
Is there a possibility that he winds up on IR?
No, I don't think so. There's different things that could happen with him, but again, we're waiting for the results to come back from these other opinions, and then we'll have a much clearer picture with that. And then once we know where that's at, then we'll be able to figure out the choices that we have for him.
When might you expect Leonard Floyd to start practicing with the club?
When would he?
Yeah.
Probably, I would say, several days yet. He's still not, it's not tomorrow, it's not still a few days, but probably closer to the true Packers week.
Are you still pretty optimistic that he would play?
Yeah. I feel, are you talking about 94?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good that he'll play. He'll probably, he'll have that club on him, but he'll be able to play. And we've gone back and looked and seen there's been some good players that have played with clubs, and now it prevents you a little bit from grabbing, but we feel confident he'll be able to play.
Roquan isn't able to go, or you don't want to push it.
Yeah.
Affect next week at this point, or do you not?
If he doesn't go for Buffalo, does it affect the Packers? Not necessarily. He's at a point where it's more of the conditioning part of it because mentally right now I feel like he's in a good spot. I really do. It's more of can he last through a game, or what's his reps if he does play in that game. That we really don't know. And then you're just at a point where do you want to do you want to take the risk of overdoing it, and then you compound something? Do you want to do that or not? So that's kind of where we're at right now with that.
Sam Acho said you were going to have the players do some different conditioning things this week. Can you share what some of those may be?
Well, really, it's more so of position specific with their guys, with their coaches. It's not running gassers or anything like that. It's more doing different things that help them in their positions, and for the quarterbacks, it might be some stuff in the pocket. For the DBs, it might be pursuit drills and that sort of thing, but nothing in particular.
James Daniels played every snap against the Chiefs. What did you like? What did you see?
So for James, we got him there at center, and then had him with some guard. And I thought that for him, again, kind of what I talked about the other day was you get to see him play against some pretty big dudes now on that team for the Chiefs. Some good guys. They're experienced, and it gives him a chance and an opportunity to go ahead and show what he can do. And I thought he played for the most part pretty well. There was one or two plays where he lost his balance a little bit, but for the most part, I was happy with where he's at. And I think again for him, just be able to get that experience for the what was a positive for him.
That touchdown run, is that an example of him losing his balance but still being able to finish the guy off?
I thought so. Yeah, I thought so.
Matt, this was our first time in the locker room. What's your kind of philosophy in terms of where guys are in there, like where their lockers are?
Yeah. So that was one of the things that we did when they first got here. The philosophy between that is that you put big guys next to small guys. You put loud guys next to quiet guys. You put leaders next to non-leaders, offense versus defense, center versus D-tackle. And I think what that does is it forces them to communicate a little bit with each other. So many times it's so easy to have conversations with guys that you deal with all the time on a daily basis. And so I want to change it up a little bit, and I wanted our guys to come in and have a little culture shock and say, whoa, you know, who am I next to? And then strike up a conversation and try to figure it out. I wanted it to be hard for them a little bit and then work through it. And so I've had no resistance from them from the start when they got here. And when we get to the locker room down at Soldier Field, it's more position specific so that they can talk through the game. But up here, I think it's important for our whole team to bond.
Now, is there a chance that Houston Carson plays in week 1?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Is this an IR situation or?
No, it's not an IR, but I don't see him playing as of right now. But I think it's probably unrealistic.
Matt, what was the extent of Akeem Hicks's practice regimen or activity?
For today? Yeah, it was similar. We ramped it up just a little bit, but for the most part, very similar. And then I think what you're going to see is once we get to the start of this Packers week, it's gonna now it's go time, and now we really pick it up for him. And the thing with Akeem right now, I know he's not getting as much practice as some of the other guys, but what he's doing is we're staying on top of him with the conditioning side. So we're making sure we do that, and we know he can play football. We know what he can do. So now it's just a matter of getting through this, making sure he feels good on a daily basis, and then getting him going next week.
For all intents and purposes, he did not practice today.
No, he was out there. Yeah. Yep.
What about Soul? What about Soul? What's his?
Yeah, so his was an ankle sprain, and so we'll see where he's at. I don't think that he'll be able to go this week versus Buffalo, and we just gotta see where that takes us.
And for you this week, what is your approach with the ones in finally being able to shift the focus to Green Bay and start getting into that mode?
Yeah, so the focus for them right now is mentally they can finally just say, you know what, I can go all in on Green Bay and mentally just get prepared, soak it up. Don't worry at all about Buffalo, and now they can start really hammering on watching the tape on Green Bay and trying to figure out what they see there. We're there to help them with that, and just hone on in now. They're at a point now where the physical part of it is going to continue, but it's really now you start game planning. Now you start saying, okay, this is what we're thinking about doing. Let me see how this fits. All this stuff we've done in OTAs and training camp, now we start picking and choosing what we want to do and what we don't want to do, and now you fit it into what Green Bay does, and you try to prep for it.
Have you settled on the starting 5 offensive line right now?
No, we're not there yet. We're still communicating through that, and that's the fun part for us. Guys, it's a great battle right now there, and those guys.
James and Eric, right?
Yeah. It's a good battle between those two guys, and I have a lot of trust in Harry and what he believes and where he's at. We'll talk together on it as a staff. Harry and I will talk about it, and ultimately, try to make the best decision.
Just to confirm, starters will not play Thursday.
You're right.
How does the short week though affect your evaluation of the guys? Because a lot of them who will play Thursday played on Saturday, so it being kind of that short week.
Yeah, it'll affect us slightly just because that they're on a short week. But guess what? Buffalo's on a really short week too. They just played. We were watching them yesterday on TV. They're playing, and now they got to travel here as well. So that's for our guys that feel sorry for themselves. That don't feel sorry for yourselves because Buffalo, just got done playing and has to come here. So take care of their bodies. That's one of the reasons why we pulled back a little bit for their reps, was to let them get more mental reps and not beat them down too much physically. And probably similar again tomorrow, but keep the pace up for the ones, because that's conditioning right now for them. And then so you got to juggle the two.
With Final Cuts looming on Saturday, do you sense the emotion of this week a little bit?
You feel it a little bit right now, because I think what happens is you get a feeling with the guys. There's guys that feel pretty confident that they're going to be here. There's guys that know they're on that line right now, and they understand that do what they do. And that's my message to them this morning, was just control what you can control. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Don't worry about what we do. And my other message to them was that that we're creating depth right now. We can only keep 53, and there's more than 53 in this room right now. But the other guys that are out here that are unfortunately not going to make our team, I promise you we'll do whatever we can to help you out. If you put some good stuff on tape and you're a good person, we'll help you get to another team. And you created competition for us, and you helped us out. So they know as long as we're honest with them, they get that, they respect that. And then what inevitably happens is it allows the conversation with myself to them, if and when they do get cut. It makes that conversation a lot easier.
Trey Cohen's a guy we talked to you a lot about since you got here. What kind of similarities are there in his role last year to his role within this offense, and how has he handled kind of everything you've thrown at him?
He's done a good job. He's been, the last couple of weeks, he likes to have the football, and he hasn't had the football. So I'm trying to keep him off my back a little bit. But he's an exciting kid. He's a positive kid. He's going to have a very big role in this offense. Everybody knows that. That's no secret. But our job as a staff is to balance that and make sure we don't do too much. I do not want to run this kid into the ground. I want to make sure that when we have him, it's efficient. He's productive, and we don't want to give him brain freeze because we're giving him too much stuff to do. So I think that's very important that we, Mark and myself, really stay on top of that. But what a special talent and a great kid.
Mike McCarthy did not play. Mike McCarthy did not play his starters very much in the preseason either. So you'll be on a level playing field in preparedness. But what about conditioning? What about the fact that you're going from training camp contact to game speed? Regular season game speed contact. Isn't there susceptibility to injury when you're going from one extreme to the other almost?
I don't know. Maybe a little bit, but I think as long as you condition yourselves, I think you really fall into, you want to make sure if you're conditioning yourself, you don't get the soft tissue injuries. I mean, there's some freak injuries that occur in the game that you can't control. There's other ones that you're not conditioned enough and you play slow. And there's others where guys sometimes, if they feel like they're playing cautious, then they can get hurt. But I think for the most part, the practice tempo that we go at, the amount of live contact that we had throughout, I feel good. I don't know where they're at, but they obviously feel good as well. So you get into it, and then you as you go week one and the rest of the season, you naturally get those live practices or live tempos in the game. So you just got to kind of feel through it and hope you don't have any unlucky injuries.
You mentioned that you want to see Roquan's conditioning in a game setting. What do you need to see in Aaron Lynch if he ends up in a preseason game setting?
Yeah, the same thing is somebody that doesn't play 4 or 5 plays and it has to come out, or is just status quo out there. We want to see some production from him. He's a player that's played in this defense under Vic that has had success, but we want to see him out there, and he understands that. But go out there, play hard, make plays, but you got to be available to do that. So that's what we're he gets it. He wants to be out there, and that's what we're hoping we get.
His ability to make the team, does that hinge on this at all, or is he?
Well, so he's again, he's a guy at a position right now where depth-wise, we have some young guys that are playing well right now that we feel very comfortable in. But it's some of the experience that he has, and then again the experience of being in Vic's defense, that you know what he can do. And so as a staff, you give this kid an opportunity because he's done it before. So, but you always go back to you got to be available, right? You got to be able to play. And so if you're, I think the quote is your best ability is your availability. So if you have that, then great. And he's getting to that point right now. And we feel good with where he's at. And he's been working hard. He trusts me. He wants to be out there right now. So we're hoping that occurs.
What have you seen in Kwiatkowski the last 7 weeks and just handling in Roquan's absence what he's had?
Yeah, no change. He's been completely the same. Not a peep from him in regards to too high or too low. He comes out as a kid that just he just plays hard every snap. He's a physical kid. He's a thumper. He'll run around, and he has some experience too. So I think each day that passes by, he gets a little bit more confidence in himself. And we had a conversation early on, and I again, control what you can control. Don't worry about exterior things. Don't worry about us drafting Roquan. Roquan's going to push you. You're going to push him, and then we play football. And if you just control what you do, normally everything will work out one way or another. And that's all we ask, and that's what he's done. So I appreciate that.
In him playing against the Chiefs, did you need someone to call the plays? Did you want to see something more?
Who? 44. No. I think nothing significant there. No, just. I think the biggest thing for him was just to go out there and play. You saw he made some good plays, flew around. He plays physical and fast. That one time they got him on a little cut block, flipped up in the air, landed pretty hard. But he's a great kid, and I'm very happy he's on our team.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.